Hello everyone, my name is Yuxuan, a master's student at Minzu University of China in Beijing. Today I'm pleased to present my paper, Ideology, Subject, and Reproduction, a study of Althusser's ideological theory. After World War II, capitalist domination underwent a profound shift. It was no longer based primarily on violence and coercion. Workers obeyed not out of fear. They actively consented to the system. This raises a puzzle. Why do individuals not only obey the existing order, but also confirm themselves in that obedience, taking it for granted as if it were nature? This is the question Louis authors took up, and the question my paper explores. Authors develops two foundational propositions. First, ideology has no history. The phrase comes from Marx and Engels, but authors gives it a positive meaning. Ideology is not a temporary phenomenon. It's an internal, omnipresent structure, like Freud's unconscious. Individuals are always already in ideology. There is no outside. Second, ideology is material. Traditionally, ideology is seen as a set of ideas in people's heads, something spiritual. Author says, ideology exists in institutions, rituals, and practices. He borrows Pascal's famous line, kneel down, pray a lot, and you will believe. The material act of kneeling and praying produces belief, not the reverse. Ideology is embedded in what authors call ideological state apparatus, like schools, families, churches, media, and so on. So, how does ideology produce subjects? This brings us to author's most famous concept, interpolation. Imagine walking down the street. A police officer calls out, "Hey, you!" You turn around, and in that moment, you become a subject. You are interpolated. Ideology constantly calls individuals, and through responding, individuals become subjects. Author insists, individuals have always been subjects, even before birth. The family assigns a name, gender expectations, and identity position. Ideology is already at work. Authors add a second mechanism, the mirror duplication at structure. Every ideology centers on a big subject. For example, God in Christianity. Individuals are small subjects who see themselves reflected in this big subject. This is how ideology secures voluntary obedience, not through force, but through identification. Schools produce obedient workers, families produce gender subjects, media produce consumers. The system reproduces itself through subjects' own participation. Author's theory has three major contributions. First, it deepens the Marxist understanding of the subject. The subject is constructed through ideological practice. Second, it expands state theory with ideological state apparatus. Power operates through schools, families, medias, and so on, not only police and army. Third, it provides a micro-mechanism for analyzing modern domination, influencing thinkers such as Foucault. However, Althusser's theory has significant limitations. First, he treats ideology as trans-historical and eternal, but Marx instated ideology is historically specific. Its content changes with the mode of production. Authors depart from Marx's historical method. Second and deeper. It compresses the agents of the subject. The subject is always already interpolated, always already caught in the mirror structure. Then, how do we explain resistance? Revolutionary change. Authors explains why capitalism is stable, but cannot fully explain why it's not. So my conclusion is Althusser's analysis is enormously valuable. It shows how modern domination works at the macro level, but it must be complemented by a return to Marxist historical materialism. For Marx, human beings are not only products of social relations, but also practical agents who transform them. Contradiction between capital and labor means ideological domination can never be absolute. The investigation should not stop at how are subjects constructed. It must ask, how can subjects break through the structures through real practice and transcend capitalist social relations? This is the emancipatory dimension Marxist critique always points to. Thank you very much. I look forward to your questions and discussions. Please feel free to contact me. Thank you.